This morning I was watching the a review of the new Demi Lovato documentary, and I won't recommend it to anyone. Anyone who has ever experienced any sort of trauma in their lifetime, any sort of fears, any sort of abuse. Like it's a very low frequency documentary. And it isn't because that was the intentions of the, or at least I would hope that that wasn't their intentions. But what I've noticed, whether it's their intentions or not, there is this thin line between bringing awareness and advertisement. And most of the time when people attempt to bring awareness to a certain issue, to a certain problem, instead of solutions being focused on, and those solutions being the height of what is talked about, what's actually talked about, what is actually spent the most time on, is the problem, the vibrational problem, what caused the problem, how the problem occurred, how the problem in and of itself seemed like a solution at a certain time, and how that problem solution had its pitfalls and downfalls, but it always called out to you the problem, the problem, the problem, the problem. And they talk about the problem so much. The problem is now the advertisement. It is not awareness to the solution. It is simply advertisement of a problematic solution. That is what they generally do. And so today I'm going to bring awareness to self-growth. If any of us have suffered trauma, and for my part, I have suffered multitudes of trauma growing up, right? I think many of us has been gaslit, and I'm not talking about somebody just denying our reality. I'm talking about a systematic denying of our reality until we don't know ourselves, and we don't even believe the things we think we've seen. Like we can't even trust our own eyes. That is what I mean when I talk about gaslighting. I'm not just talking about someone who has a different perspective from you. And I'm talking about systematic breakdown of a person's reality. If anyone has ever been in some cultish religion, I have, and I will definitely say Jehovah's Witnesses is one of them. Any religion, however, can be one of those cultish religions, as long as the focal point is on the religion above family, above self, above everything, right? It can become a very cultish religion. So I don't want to get so pent in on the name of the religions that we lose sight of the fact that it's the characteristics that make up this religion that would make it into a cult, right? Most people think a cult would be someone with a charismatic person over top where everyone's looking towards that person. But that it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. Like in the case of what is his name? Jim. I wasn't alive when he was alive, so it's very hard for me to remember his name, but he winded up poisoning all his members, and it was like a mass group suicide. Jim somebody. At any length. And so people, when they identify cults, they think about that charismatic person, and it doesn't have to be a charismatic person. It could be an organization that could draw in that energy, that power, from self-agency to groupthink, right? It could be that it could not be focused in on an organization. It could be just focused in on an entity or a deity, right? And that deity that uh, the organization or the person or whatever is telling you to focus in on is then drawing attention away from self-agency and yourself and growth and things like that. I say that to say there's a mixture. It could be a mixture, but the key factors is that you're placing other things above yourself, right? You're losing account of your feelings, of your thoughts, of what it is that you want, because your needs take the back seat. That is a formula for a cult in and of itself, and it could be in the form of any religion. It could be a JW, it could be a Catholic, it could be a Muslim, it could be a Jewish religion. It doesn't even matter what religion it is. It is when something else takes the place of your own self-agency, right? So in that way, lots of us, especially in America and probably all across the world, has been indoctrinated and abused and placed into cults, and lost sight of ourselves, of our personhood. And that can also be happen to us with other mechanisms. It doesn't necessarily have to be religion, because I realize now that, like, some of the new cults is social media, and they're using some of our biological and tribal mentality in order to hook us into a certain set, a group think, that doesn't allow for differences of opinion, right? And anyone that is against us is hated by us, because we don't value them as a person, because they are so evil to think something different from us, right? And even the thoughts that we think were given to us. So, but we claim those thoughts as if we're claiming a team, and anything that's against this team that we're on is our enemy, is our opponent, and we're not coming together to have our little differences and grow. So I say all of this to say that we've all gone through trauma. We've all gone through trauma. And I'm here to bring awareness, not of trauma, of solutions, right? I'm here to bring awareness of self-growth. I'm here to bring awareness of stillness. I'm here to bring awareness of centeredness. I'm here to bring awareness of living in oneself, of one's own body. I'm here to bring awareness of believing your own mind and your own feelings and your own thoughts. I'm here to bring awareness of love. I'm here to bring awareness of psychological well-being. I'm here to bring awareness of asking for help from people who are qualified to help, right? I'm here to bring awareness of the subconscious mind, which is like 95% of our thinking, right? We think that little 5% is us, but in the truth, whatever our life is looking like, it's comprised of that 95% that is the true thought process. So if there's a spot in your life that is unsatisfactory, you don't like, you have called that portion in your life to be. You have called it to come into your existence. In a way, your thought processes, you only think it is possible for that type of life to exist. You don't know any other possibility, and the 95% of your subconscious is making decisions to create that life for that 5% of you that's consciously aware of how bad it is, right? So I'm here to bring awareness to the subconscious. I'm here to bring awareness to hypnosis and the ability of retuning the subconscious mind. I'm here to bring awareness to repetition and habits. I'm here to let people understand that, 21 days is all you need, right? All the cells in our body are completely new and regenerated by 90 days, right? 21 days is all you need to form a habit, right? And that habit has the ability to imprint on our 95% subconscious mind. And that 5% that's conscious, that's aware, that's thinking, that's talking, that's here, but not here. That portion can change to 95. which kind of lets me know, like, we have a vast majority of people who may be for us or who may be against us, or, a vast majority of people who may not know us or don't think about us at all, right? And that's like the 95%. And we may have like the 5% of people who interact with us in our life that know us, love us, or for us. And that 5% has the ability to change everything about our lives, the ability to speak into us, the way the 95%, even though they control like the external environment, doesn't have a way to dictate to us. That 5% can control the 95 in a way, if it's properly tuned. So I'm here to bring awareness to getting a tight-knit, socially aware, psychologically conscious community of people. Not necessarily that look at things from like identity perspectives. And when I speak of identity perspective, I'm talking about anything that encompasses, identifying as a group, like a racial group, as a gender, we should know as far as like our biological needs based upon our femininity and our masculinity, right? But the identity of it, where we program ourselves or believe ourselves to be better or more worthier than another group. And that's kind of what some of those groups do, that focus in particularly on our sect, right? We should, of course, focus on ourselves. And if we are of use in any of those groups, their focal point is but to bring a certain level of advocacy for that position, right? But that advocacy shouldn't dominate self, and it shouldn't do so at the detriment of others, right? So I'm here to bring awareness to being psychologically sound. And in doing so, just saying simply, beware. Beware of the things you put in your mind. Beware of the things you listen to, because that person may say, I am here to bring awareness, or I want to tell you of this problem. And in doing so, They're infusing you with that problem rather than removing that problem from the external world. They're actually creating it more. They're advertising it. They're showing its benefits. And they're placing inside your subconscious that low frequency vibration to desire, to crave, to want that problem, because they've already identified that it's a solution to your traumas, to your problems. Even though they seemingly say, it brings these issues with it. It can cause this or it can cause that. They're mostly advertising. They're not bringing awareness. So whenever it is that you get ready to talk about something, to speak on it, the problem should encompass 5%. 5% of your conversation, maybe, if you talk about the problem at all. 95% of your conversation should be solution. The solution. And focused all upon the solution. Just, this is what you do. This is how you live. I'm here to bring awareness to journaling, to self-thought, to meditating and focusing in, and just being. Feeling that breath come in and out of your body, up and down your chakras. Feeling your pulse across your body. Just being. I'm here to bring awareness to being inside of yourself and not allowing the outside forces of the world, those thoughts that come into your mind that try to take you here, there, everywhere, but inside of you, to take over and become the driver of your life, and to download into your system a set of thought and processes and ways to handle things that would be detrimental to you if your subconscious picked up. I'm here to bring awareness to self-agency in all its forms, to be able to control the media that you put into your body, the advertisements that you put into yourself. So be mindful and think about these things. I would say even have multiple accounts for the sole purpose that if one account becomes poisonous to your system and is constantly giving you biofeedback of the negative things you've watched, and therefore re-advertising and calling those things back out to you, you can log into another account and refresh your mind, and in so refreshing, be able to do away and to delete the negative advertisement, the bad things. So I'm just here to bring awareness to consciousness, and not consciousness of identities that the external world throws upon us, but consciousness of self. How do you feel? What do you think? How are you doing? How are you?